We having that?
Hi there.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Matt was trying to come in and do attendance and introduce me, and it kicked everyone off. All right. Oh, you're fine. Okay. All right. I think that is almost everyone. Hey, Mom's gonna talk. So we are, I'm gonna go ahead and get us started. Sorry for everyone getting kicked off again. We had some fun last minute change up. So Galen Hawes was supposed to instruct today, and his flight back to Eugene got canceled last minute, so he emailed me late last night. And as we all know, the show must go on. So luckily, this is one of my favorite courses to teach. Unfortunately, you are going to have to bear with me as I am locked in a condo with 3 children. So you will get the lovely privilege of hearing my 2-year-old probably the most, but we will venture through. Hopefully everyone had an amazing weekend. So if you want to go through and tell me how many contacts you made, if you went on any appointments or wrote any contracts, and then we'll get this show on the road. You want to get started, Tasha?
Sorry, it took me a second to unmute. Yeah. So yeah, I added, sorry, hold on. I was just adding it up. 8 contacts since last class, which my goal is of course 10 a day, but yeah, so it was great. I also did 3 walkthroughs this weekend, and I got permission from the listing agents to post it on my social media, and it was really fun. And I got a lot of really great, I'm starting to understand how that's really great material for my sphere. So my sphere is loving it. So that was a good breakthrough because that felt like a lot of action.
Good job. Sheena?
Sorry, hit a wrong button. So I spent a lot of this weekend dealing with a sick little one, but I am currently under contract on a home for 1 set of buyers. And I recently started compiling a list of local area businesses, and I'm going to be doing a marketing campaign with those businesses to where I advertise for them on my business page, and if somebody brings in my card, they get a discount. So I've been touching base with those people. I've got 2 businesses that have already agreed, and I'm just working my way through my great big list that I compiled at the end of last week.
Awesome. Great job. Amy?
So I did an open house this weekend and got 3 new potential buyer clients. And then I'm in a team, so I was given a lead off of Zillow to go show a house, and those folks are going to join up with me, and so basically 4 new potential buyer clients this weekend.
Great job. Jeffrey?
So I made 5 contacts. Basically what I've been doing is door knocking with my new career letter and a business card stapled to it, just introducing myself to my neighbors. And I plan on focusing a lot on open houses, but I'm just now getting my RMLS all set up and joined with them. So I plan on doing more with that.
Great job. Rob? Excellent, Rob. Nassim?
I made half a dozen contacts over the weekend. Two of them look as though they will sign contracts to be buyers. One of whom will be buying in the next 30 to 60 days. The other one's probably closer to 4 months out after the beginning of the year and some tax return stuff.
Good job. Jessica?
Hi, yes. So I went into town and made face-to-face contact with quite a few businesses and build that relationship with some local businesses here in Banks where I live. And then I popped over into Hillsborough and hit up 185th Street and got a bunch of business cards and just started building relationships in the community. I do call expireds often. I followed up with a couple of clients that are looking to relist, but they're waiting until after the election. So just trying to stay proactive and in the forefront of them. And also my plan is to put some postcards together and distribute them in my local Banks area, just letting them know that, you know, I'm an agent here in town and if they're ever needing anything, and then also social media. So yeah, that's what I have going on.
Great job, Jessica. Alicia, I want to be
Thanks, I think
where
I'm-
you are.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I heard it's snowing in Bend, and I'm down in Arizona enjoying some sunshine. So trying to stay involved and keep up on everything. However, you know, it's not 100%, but still success in my book.
Looks amazing. Jessica, did you have something to add?
I think I was going in and out there, so sorry about that. It's,
No, you're totally
I couldn't
fine.
respond. Thanks.
All right, Alan.
I stayed on the coast this weekend and just covered all of Astoria and a bunch of Warrenton areas. Walked my dog, handed out business cards, and just connected with some business owners too. So yeah.
Great job. Nuri.
Hi. I just talked to Matt earlier. I'm still working on the to getting into KW. I haven't finished other paperwork I needs to be done. So once I get done with that, then I should be able to start working on.
Great job. Lee?
There. I did a Facebook post for a listing that I have, and so far I've got 6 leads off of that. And then I also have a buyer who's ready to write, and we're gonna look at properties.
Amazing. Great job. Carrie?
Yeah, so my name is pronounced Cotty. It looks
Oh,
like
sorry.
Carrie. Yeah, no problem. It looks like Carrie, I understand. So this is like my second Ignite meeting. I'm still like getting in to KW and kind of figuring out what's what. But I did have like 2 meetings with some friends that I hadn't really connected with in a while and let them know what's going on. And I also have another friend that I talked to that is looking to sell in the next like 6 months. So just kind of putting myself out there and letting people know. And yeah.
Good job. Build that pipeline. Greg?
Hey, everybody. Are we talking about what we've been doing for lead gen, or?
Yeah, how many contacts you made this weekend or today?
I usually wake up and call 10 people every day. I've been doing a lot of circling around and connecting with some past clients and asking for referrals. That's been going pretty good. I got a handful of buyers lined up. I'm really focused on getting some listings. So I've been leveraging those buyers and calling expireds and honestly circle prospecting in neighborhoods asking if people want to sell because I have buyers. So I connected with someone in my neighborhood and set myself up for a listing next spring for a 1 million+ listing. So I was pretty excited about that. But really trying to hit my sphere and people I know. And then I just teamed up with a lender to do a campaign and split the cost on some advertising. So we'll see what happens with that.
Excellent. All right, guys. Does everyone have the Ignite material in front of them? Unless you're driving, then obviously you don't. I'm gonna put the link in the chat box here if you do need it. It's good to have it up in front of you. If you can have it printed out, great. I know Bend did just get their stuff in today. I haven't checked in with Portland yet. Capital Cities was all there and at the front desk. So you guys should all be good to go. Oh, someone else just came in. Let me make sure I get them down on the attendance. Austin, okay. Perfect, so we're just gonna open up to that front of it. Page 5. And this is kind of the action plan for today. Today's all about the database, which is going to be an important factor for everyone's business. And we're going to go over campaigns and staying in touch with them and how you can do that in your database, either command or whatever you're using, and some important things to know about that. So we're going to do a lot of activities today. We've already done the action reveal, so you can kind of skip through page 6 and 7. And then this is another great way. On page 8, there's another example of tracking those contacts too. If you haven't found a way that works for you to track it, then you can use this page as well. Okay. How many people in here have already started adding people to their database? Perfect, good. I know at least a few of you have. Good, and you're all using command for that, right? Perfect. Good, good, good. All right. On page 10, there's some scripts examples for calling your database. We talked, some of you, if you were on the call last week, a little bit of script where you're just introducing your self for the first time. So this first one on page 10 is a referral script. Does anyone want to read through that for us?
Sure, why not?
Do it.
Hi, my name is Nassim. I'm calling with Keller Williams Realty. Your name was given to me by a close friend of both of ours, Simone. And she said that I should give you a call. Is right now a good time to talk for a couple of minutes? Excellent. Simone said that you were thinking about buying a house in the next 2.5 months and asked if I would please give you a call. She and I both want to make certain that you are in great hands and that you have the very best. So that's why I'm calling. Since everyone likes to know what houses are selling for, I thought I'd share my real estate app with you. You can see what's going on anywhere from your street to any place in North America. It's free, there's no cost to you, and I can send you a text to a link for it. Does that sound good? Great. Want me to continue on?
Perfect. Love it. Thank you. Then on page 11 and 12, you're going to see some additional I'm new to real estate script, reminding them that you're in a business, being new to Keller Williams, whatever the case may be. And that one's just kind of a soft intro to let the people in your database as you're calling through, making your time contacts know that, hey, you're in real estate, or this is your new career, and that how they can support you. I will give everyone some time to read through those and familiar with them. Usually if you're in a class week partner, scripts are definitely something that's great to get comfortable with. A lot of people's kind of gut initial reaction is like, whoa, that doesn't sound like me, or it doesn't sound natural. I don't want to sound like I'm being fake. The more comfortable you get with saying the scripts and with the language that's in them, they're usually pretty strategically created to get a certain point across, and make on key points like asking for business. And so you can make them, sound a little bit more like you just by becoming comfortable with the verbiage. And one way to do that is saying them over and over again. You can look in the mirror and say them over and over again, begin to internalize and memorize them so you don't feel like you don't know what you're saying next, and practicing with other people as well. And I know Matt Spate does script practice multiple times on all of that as well, to practice with each other. But go ahead and read through those scripts on page 11 and 12. All right, did you guys make it through those? Perfect. All right, and then on the next page is just some easy generic scripts for when you're sending those handwritten cards, just to give you an idea of what you can say in them. Usually if you can make it, if it's someone that you've connected with or tried calling, you can kind of make it a little bit personal to them. Like, hey, loved chatting with you about your kids today, or can't wait to see pictures of your new dog you mentioned today, or something like that from your conversation. But otherwise, it can be fairly generic. And then we're all going to go to page 15. So this is kind of getting your head in the game for what we're going to be talking about with database and those frequent touches. So that at the end of day 1 of Ignite, 200 new contact names to your database. Let's get into the whys and hows of growing a database by putting the topic in perspective. So if you use email, and who doesn't, you undoubtedly are inundated with notices from companies whose websites you visited or ordered from, right? So think Amazon, Zappos, Groupon, etc. Now you guys can even take that like a step further and think of, when you're on Facebook and scrolling through, do you see ads of things that you've looked at or talked about recently? Kind of creepy, right? When you buy groceries with a membership card or shop at Target with their branded credit card, do those companies give you coupons or send you messages about upcoming specials? Yes. So why do companies do this?
Keep you engaged.
Mind
Get
share.
your data.
Does it
Yep.
work?
Yep. So like even if you did, question 2, even if you did not take advantage of a sale or a coupon in a given email, was that touch still effective?
Yes.
Yeah, so it still made you think of like, maybe you didn't want those shoes, right? But did you click through and then find other shoes you wanted? Or did you think like, oh yeah, I did need to go pick that up? So it just kept them front of mind, which was their point. Like Nordstrom, if you are signed up with Nordstrom, you get like daily emails from Nordstrom Rack. And what are you going to do 99% of the time? You're going to delete them, but then that one time that it pops up and you need something, you're going to click on it. And that's the thing. Sometimes we get so much in our head about like, oh, I don't want to bother them, or I don't want to be annoying or send them something they don't need, or people aren't even opening them. It still created that mind share just by seeing your name pop up in their inbox, even if they just delete it, so that then when they do have a real estate need, they're not going to delete it. They're going to open it up and reach out to you. So page 16, what is a targeted marketing campaign?
Campaign aimed at a certain demographic.
Yep. So you're going to take something that someone or demographic group of people that have a specific need and target them. So for example, the company Glissue began to market its vitamin enriched water to men and women between the ages of 18 and 49 who indicated that they are interested in health and fitness. Because of this targeted marketing, I'm going to butcher again, Smart Water brand grew approximately 28% in less than a year. So it's all about the data, where information is powerful. So how does this relate to our real estate business?
You can target your advertising.
Yep. So everyone has a home, right? Like everyone lives somewhere. So we want to be kind of first in line of their mind share when they have a home need, whether that's buying, selling, investing, referring us to someone they know that needs to do one of the 3 we just mentioned. So our database is our business. So going on page 17, it defines database for us. So a tool that centrally stores customer and prospect contact information, which is regularly updated with new details and events, can be organized and sorted as needed, and is added to in order to increase your business. Your database on steroids. So this, you'll hear us talk about eEdge. eEdge and Command are pretty interchangeable as far as what it's getting across for us. It doesn't matter if you're on a team, you might use a different one like Boomtown or something like that. Ultimately, you'll hear real estate agents from all over say like, what's the best database? What's the best database? Whatever one you're going to use on a regular basis is the best for you. You're lucky enough with Keller Williams, you currently have 2. Command is highly capable of doing a lot of things, and it's also still being developed and improved upon continuously. eEdge, that's been around Keller Williams forever, is also still a great tool. It just at some point may not be one of KW's tools. I will show you today both ways that you can kind of go into either one and set up campaigns, and we'll go over some of the ideas behind it, and reasonings of why you might choose to do things a little bit differently. So what we want to do is create good habits now. So we'll give some tips and go over best practices, and that way you're not having to go back later and reinvent the wheel. So your database is much more than a list of contacts, a living record of all your business relationships, current and potential. So sometimes, like we've heard people talk about, they were only putting their specific business leads in there or people that they knew wanted to do business, but you should be putting everyone you know in your database, because that could be creating future potential business. In your shifts to schedule and track every interaction you have with each person in it. And then your well-tended database produces leads. A powerful database managed by powerful schedule produces a predictable flow of leads, and from a predictable flow of leads, you can expect a predictable flow of business. So does anyone remember the, hey Austin, can you not do that? Ratios we talked about last, but how many people in the database that we touched on a regular campaign, how many pieces of business will we get? Anyone remember those numbers?
For every 12 contacts, you've got one lead.
And there's 36
touches.
Yeah, so for 36 touches, for every 12 people, you get 2 pieces of business. That for people that you know on a first name basis, and then people that you don't would be that 50 to 1. So if you're farming a neighborhood, you're gonna be 50 to 1. If you're touching people that you know you on a first name basis, so friends, coworkers, like old coworkers or current ones, classmates, family, anything like that, friends, parents. So 12 to 2. The reason it's 12 to 2 is one person of those 12 is going to do business themselves with you. So every year, they'll either 1 out of 12 people will buy, sell, or invest. And then 1 of those 12 people will refer you another person that will do business. Does that make sense?
Can you say the 36 again? You said 36, 12.
36 touches. So of people that know you on a regular basis or on a first name basis, you'll get 12. For every 12 people, you get 2 pieces of business per year. So then you can kind of use that for math when you're wanting to find out how many pieces of business you want to do. How big does your database need to be?
Will you break that down for the non-known? So for like just random leads?
Yeah, so 50 to 1. So if you're doing like a farm, anything cold calling, circle dialing, every 50 people, you'll get 1 piece of business.
Would you say that out of the 50 cold calling, they answer the phone, but they don't want to speak or you don't get fully connected? Would you consider that as one touch? Like,
yes, but the 50 to 1, you get 50 to 1. No. Take those. Well, take them somewhere else then. No, what the pink? Come get the pink and take it somewhere else. No, what do the other phone? You're being too loud. It's them 19 times is how you'll get the 50 to 1. So that's where it's kind of hard because it's not just one phone call, but if you called that lead, all those same leads 19 times over a year, then 1 out of 50 of them would do. Now, where you'll see a difference is that, like if you're doing expireds like you do, then you are converting them to someone that does know you. So if you contact them over 8 weeks, then that's what it would like 1 time per week for 8 weeks. you're following up with them, now they're met. So now they know you on a first name basis. They're not going to go, Jessica, who? When you call them, right? You've called them for 8 weeks. So now you've built more of that relationship. So then it has a higher potential than just like sending out mailers or doing open houses and that sort of thing in a neighborhood where you're pretty detached and have to build that recognition.
The contact.
Have you had a lot of success in sending out mailers to like a general neighborhood? Just someone opening their mail and calling you just because it was in front of their face and they were thinking about houses?
Right. I specifically have not, but I also haven't done it at a high level consistently because it's not one of my legs of businesses. So anything that you do at a high level consistently, you will have good success with. I know a lot of real estate agents that have been really successful at farming, but it's about the consistency. So if you send a mailer out to like one neighborhood once or twice, probably not going to really get anything from it. If you're doing the 19 touches to that neighborhood, so 12 mailers plus doing an open house in that neighborhood, or if you open houses in that neighborhood, you're door knocking in that neighborhood, circle calling in that neighborhood, you're adding other things to it, then
that makes sense.
Super successful. But it's a hard place to start in the very beginning because if you are going to break the glass table and mommy's going to be really upset, can you please stop and go take those elsewhere?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I like to take the table.
I don't want you on the glass table. That's where you're going to be like way more successful is if you are consistent, but the mailers can be cost prohibitive for the amount of business if that's solely where you're focusing. The average cost per mailer is like $1 if you include postage. And so just giving you kind of an idea, whereas like an email and phone calls and text messages to people you know is free. So,
right. Okay.
And that's where we kind of focus on that database and how you can grow your database. So how could you take those people that you would potentially mail to or have a neighborhood and create good enough relationships to where they're actually just in your database as people that you know?
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So page 18, according to the National Association of Realtors, 88% of clients would use their agent again and only 12% do. So this says it's 2014, but that statistic is hung pretty strong and pretty consistent that they're right around those same ratios. So why do we think that is?
Follow up.
Yeah, so we often call them like orphan clients because we'll sell a house to them and then never talk to them again. And so then when they go to do business again, 10 years later, 7 years later, they don't remember what our phone number is, who we are, or they've made a relationship that was more meaningful with someone else in those. So that's where these campaigns and staying in touch is really, really important because we want to be that go-to person for them in the future. So this is NAR, so National Association of Realtors, also tells us that on average, people move every 10 years. With 10 years between transactions, agents who don't leverage systems to stay top of mind with their contacts end up experiencing clients who use a different agent. In your career, you're going to hear an agent complain indignantly that a friend, family member, neighbor, or past client used another agent. If you were to ask that agent if they had used a system to regularly contact their database to remain top of mind, what do you think the answer would be, right? Like probably a lot less likely that they would have used someone else. So databases make customers' information easy to handle and can help improve service and strengthen relationships. Your realtors that have been in the business forever that still don't have all of their clients or contacts in an organized database. And they're like, yeah, I do this or I do that, or, you know, I send emails, but they aren't doing it consistently enough in a way that makes sense. Or, right, if you have it all in an Excel spreadsheet and not in a system where it's just a click or a set and forget, like we'll kind of go over today, it can be really hard to keep up with. And so then as they get busy, they just won't do it. So best intentions, but not the greatest execution. Databases make customer information easy to handle and help improve service and strengthen relationships. So mailings, emails, phone calls, and customer service activities are much more straightforward when you have instant access to the contact details of all your customers and prospects and information about all your dealings with them. So goal of daily lead generation with a database. So page 19. First and foremost, always prospecting for now business. So we want to build our pipeline, but we also want to help people now. People who are ready to buy now or in the immediate future. This means meeting new people, asking for business from your existing database, and asking for referrals from everyone you talk to. And then number 2, marketing campaigns to stay top of mind with everyone in your database. So question, how will you know when a buyer or seller makes a decision to buy or sell? You won't, right? Like someone could be sitting in their dinner table talking to their husband or wife tonight and be like, oh, I think we should sell. You're not going to immediately know. So you have to be on the other end and be top of mind and be like, oh yeah, let's call so-and-so.
Alexa would know.
Right? Alexa's listening. We just need Alexa to like then notify us.
And then call. Hey.
Yep. Sometimes like our kind of like hot list of people we should be staying most frequently in contact with are those people that have been making big life changes, and we can kind of watch for that a little bit more closely. Like getting married, having babies, getting divorced, someone dying, kids graduating high school. Those types of big changes can sometimes indicate that they'll buy or sell and sooner or within that year or a couple years. But we want to like always be top of mind as well in case we're not hitting those things. All right, so there's a little video I'm going to pull up and share with you guys. Uh-oh, what happened? Here we go. Is everyone not getting audio?
I'm not.
I'm not either.
Nope.
Well, what do I do? Let's see. It's up all the way. If I turn, is it like just quiet or you can't hear anything at all?
Just quiet.
Quiet. Okay. Let's try this. Let's see. Nothing at all. Okay, good. Let's try one more time. What am I doing wrong? I wonder if, let's see. Is that any better?
Nope.
right, well, let's see. If you guys click in it and log in, can you watch it? I don't know what I'm doing wrong. My videos have always worked before. If you're not set up yet, I can email it to you, and then when you are, we'll go over a lot of the information in it, so it'll be okay. All right, people, let me know when you're done. Okay, perfect. All right, so going back over to our book, we have talked about contacts, adding those. Sources of, it has some great examples in here. So page 22, sources haven't met. So your neighborhood or geographic farm, sports teams mailing lists, house of worship rosters, club or organization membership lists, LinkedIn contacts, Facebook, Twitter, blog followers, and geographic farms. So targeted like neighborhoods. So all of those are ones that you could be adding to your database if you have like a roster list and beginning to contact with them, and ultimately trying to convert those haven't met to mets. Can anyone think of any other good examples?
Medical providers.
Book clubs and Facebook groups.
Yep. Excellent. All right, so yeah, you can add those. We've already talked about Mets. You would obviously, if you got a referral, make sure you add them, because that's someone that you're gonna become in close contact with. Goal of a contact. So every time we're making contacts, our goal is to get business. So either asking for referrals, making sure they don't have any. And then we want to ultimately provide value and gather more information to build and nurture the relationship. So especially if we don't know someone super, super well, we want to make sure that we are asking for enough information from them that we can then take notes of that in our database and make meaningful contact next time we talk to them. So that we get to know them better and better. So for instance, if you talk to someone and they're like, yeah, you know, I'm like distance learning is a big thing right now. Like I'm trying to get, you know, my kids into a routine for school. The next time you talk to them, you want to have note of that, like, hey, how's things going with school so far? Is like, do you guys get in a better routine? Any improvements? Getting the hang of it? And that way you're continuing to make personal contacts with them too. But we will get super, super busy. So trying to keep it all in our brain on paper can be super challenging. Information you want to get when you are adding a contact or putting someone into your database. You obviously want their name. If you can get their address, perfect, like great. If not, ask them if you can send them some business cards. That's a good kind of like cheat for having them give you your address. Or another thing that's coming up super soon is Christmas cards. So like, hey, I'm gonna be sending out some Christmas cards. I wanna make sure that you get one. What's your address? It's gonna be unlikely that someone, especially if they know you on a first name basis, is gonna be like, no, I don't want your Christmas card. Don't send it to me, right? Or I don't want your holiday card. Or I don't want your business cards. Like that would just be rude. So they're more likely going to give you their address, their email, phone number, add them on social media, know what status is, whether they're married or not, or have a significant other, if they have children, if they have pets, obviously if they currently own or rent, and then how long have they been in their current home. In fact, if you don't have any of this information, it's a great excuse to reach out to them. So I believe there's an example in your workbook of like a spreadsheet that you could add people to. A lot of the things you're just going to do electronically, but that's one of the reasons that I suggest writing down and tracking who you're contacting every day, because as you're writing it down, you can go back through and make sure that like at the end, all of those people are in your database and add any notes that you need to, instead of trying to have it up in your computer as you're talking to people. It's kind of sometimes unlikely, or you might like call someone and then they call you back and you're no longer in front of your computer. So tracking it on a sheet can be beneficial for you. Here's an example. All right. We are gonna take we kind of beginning. So we're gonna do our 20 minutes of calling and adding to our database. So make as many contacts as you can. You can use some of the scripts that we went over earlier about letting them know that you're in real estate, or reminding them that you're in real estate, and adding people to your database that you're going to call today, or making sure that if you like Nasim, one of the things you could do, since you kind of bulk add people, it's as you're calling through, make sure none of the information's missing, or make sure it's still accurate. So like an easy script for that would be like, hey, I'm gonna be sending business cards out. Is the address I have for you, is that's still accurate?
Good.
Perfect. Okay, so we will all mute ourselves, do that, and then we'll be back at 2:15. All right, if you guys finish up that last contact entry or phone call, feel free to come back.
Laura, can I ask you a question real quick?
Absolutely.
I find that I'm the slowest conversator. Like, I feel like I only did 2 phone calls because I talk to people too much. Is that common?
That's not bad. I mean, how many dials did you make in between that? Did you both people you called answered?
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. Usually we say like a good average if you're measuring is 10 minutes per or 10 contacts per an hour. So if you feel like you're following and like sphere contacts, it's normal for them to take a little bit longer because people can get chatty. Sometimes like an easy way to kind of convert that is to say in the beginning that it's a business call. Like, hey, I'm calling you for a business reason today, or I wanted to check in about business or let you know about my business. And then sometimes you can even be like, oh, I'm getting another call. Like, this was really great catching up. Got to wrap this up. Like, we need to do this more often, or let's set some time to go to together, or something like that. To like create a natural follow up. But you can totally like convert that. But yeah, about 10 contacts an hour is pretty average. And then for sphere, for it to take a little bit longer is normal.
Okay.
Excellent, Rob. Got an appointment out of it. Perfect. All right. So now, once I'm gonna go into command. One of the important things we want to do from the beginning, and trust me, if you do this from the beginning, it will be less painful than doing it down the road, is classifying your contacts. So you do it as you add it, then you don't have to go back through it one by one later, which isn't the end of the world, but sometimes can be a little bit painful. In command, how you classify them is they call it tags. So, and what I mean by that is if you have past clients, for instance, you want to make sure they're labeled as past clients in your database. If they're people that are like friends and family, you could call that your sphere of influence, so your SOI. If they're people that you met at open houses, label them as having met at an open house. And then that way, as you're going through and you're touching them or they call you, you have that to look back on, and your campaign system or your touch system might look a little bit different. Awesome, Shayna, that's great. Set a listing appointment. And that way, or if they're an expired and you might touch them differently than you would touch your family, right? So you can label them, and then that way you can always change it in the future if that expired becomes a past client, for instance. But that way you have something to go off of if you want to send some like Christmas cards that are more personal to people that you specifically know versus people that you don't. You can pull that separation for them out more easily. So decide how you're going to label people and do that as you're creating your contacts from the beginning, and that will make your life easier. Another common ones like allied resources. So that would be anyone who's like a contractor, a plumber, an electrician, lenders, title and escrow people that you're going to use as referrals quite a bit for your business. You could group them all together as well. People that you might interview for your Facebook, that sort of thing. How you do that here. So just as an example, if you were going to add a contact, you're gonna put their name in there, email, phone number, and then here it'll ask you for tags. So you can either select one that's in the list, it'll have some like default ones for you, or if you want to create your own, say, like you want to do clients from a separate business or previous business, you could say like your coaching clients and create that tag. You'll just type it in, hit create custom tag, and that'll create that for you. Nice. See, we had good success today on our calls. Now, if you are using, I'm going to kind of bounce between our two databases because I think both of them are fine to use depending on what you want to do. Your mykw.kw.com. If you want to add a contact there, it's going to be in the center, and you're going to add new contacts. And the way that they do it is if you scroll down, there's a groups. And so you're able to create groups in here and then classify people that way as groups. If you're trying to work like referrals between other realtors, it's great to add other realtors, but you probably don't want to send them the same things you're sending your past clients, right? So just being able to select who you want to send what to will make you feel more organized. Stop sharing. Any questions on any of that so far? Okay. Oh, here, baby. Pacifier. There you go. All right, let's go back here. So the third part of your contacts, page 26 is where I am if you are following along still too in your workbook, is qualifying. Next priority is to assess how ready and motivated this lead is. So the following are some sample questions to quickly determine their readiness and motivation for acting. So that is good. In eEdge, when you first go in, here, I'm going to share my screen to show you this too. When you first go into your add a contact in the status in eEdge, it'll allow you to do a lead, cold, warm, hot. So that's another way that you could sort people through if you're trying to call through like a hot list of active leads, or you can keep them as a lead. If you keep them on a lead, it'll actually show them continuously on your dashboard. So if you don't want that, like say you're just adding people just to be a contact, not because they're wanting to do business right now, I'll like change it to warm or cold or hot, depending on when I think they might do business, so that they're not currently showing up all the time as a lead. So like warm's my usual go-to. Because there's someone I know that's warm, but they're not doing business right now. And then any questions on that? Okay. That's just going to kind of help you know how frequently you should someone. If someone's, a year out, then just having them on your 36 touch is a good start until they get closer to being ready to do business. And then you can kind of just touch in when you make, that quarterly phone call to them. Like, hey, last time we talked, it sounded like it was going to be next spring before you guys are ready to list. Is it still looking like you're on track for that? And then as you get closer, okay, are you ready for me to come out and take a look at the property, see if there's anything you need next few months, that sort of thing. So you're making relevant contacts. Oops. Spending your time wisely. So some leads have more pressing needs than others. So by qualifying them right away, you can clearly see which ones require your immediate attention. For contacts with no immediate plan to buy or sell in the near future, put them on a drip campaign. So we're going to go over those. To automate regular touching so that you don't spend more time than absolutely necessary. So part of this today is like just making your life easier. One of the other things too, like sometimes in the beginning, people, if you don't have enough business, will latch on to any business you can find and spend way too much time on them when they're not ready yet. Which is really, really great service for them, but you're doing yourself a disservice because you're using up so much of your time on someone who's just not quite ready in there yet. So for instance, you know, if someone still needs to get pre-qualified before they can go out and shop, you don't want to be spending hours of your day communicating and sending them properties and showing them properties and those type of things until they go and get pre-approved. You want to spend those hours in your day looking for more business, people that can do business now, future, that you can add to those follow-ups campaigns. Does that make sense? All right. So we went over classifying groups and their status. Do you guys have any questions about groups that you would create, how you would create your groups or tags? Why? Any questions around that? Okay. Does that make sense why you would do it? Yeah, okay. I'm just going to go off of Elizabeth and Jessica's answers here because they're the only ones in my direct line. Unless I scroll through people, they're nodding for me. Really unmute yourself and speak up if you need anything. Okay, campaigns. So these are my favorite, you guys. I really think this is such an important thing. There's different types of campaigns, and some of the numbers that you'll see here will be slightly different than what MREA 2 that it hasn't been released says yet. So I'm going to go off of MREA 2 numbers because we've already proven that's valid, but it might not match the literature point by point. So just bear with me. So 8x8. An 8x8 is a series of 8 touches in 8 weeks. It includes a combination of personal visits, phone calls, items of values, or handwritten notes. Or you can even add like social media touches. These are really great to use when you've met someone at an open house, when you've called them as an expired or for sale by owner, when you've met someone new at an event, anyone that you didn't know that you want to know on a higher level and be more likely to do business with, you're going to do an 8x8 first. So that first, like you meet them at the open house, that's touch 1, right? You're going to follow up the next day or later that day. Then the following week, you might do a phone call to check in. The following week, you might send a text message. The week after that, you might send an email. You're going to kind of mix it up. And then after that, if you haven't, proceeded with business with you immediately and you need to nurture them for longer, then you're going to add them to your 36 touch so that they continue to be nurtured. Same with internet leads. You're going to follow up with them really intensely, every day for several days, and then you're going to kind of back off slowly and then put them on a longer term nurture. A lot of internet leads end up being kind of that long game where they'll do it down the road, but not maybe immediately. Same with for sale by owners. Like everyone calls them for 1 week. Some people follow up a second week. And then the amount of people that follow up after that really drops off. So sometimes people are like, oh, I don't want to call for sale by owners because everyone's calling them and they just keep telling me they get calls from realtors and they're so annoyed. Well, if you keep calling and following up and checking up on how they do, most for sale by owners will list with a real estate agent that continued to call them, not the first 1 or 2 weeks most of the time. So those are great 8x8 uses. Then so the 33 touch is now 36 touch. So a series of 36 touches in a year, it can include the following: a combination of 14 mailings, letters, cards, emails, or drop-offs, 8 thank you or thinking of you cards, 3 phone calls, 4 personal observance cards, and 4 holiday cards. So again, this is pretty card heavy. We've talked about this a little bit already, so I'm sorry if you're hearing me repeat myself, but these are to nurture your relationships and all Mets in your database. Everyone should be on a 36 touch. And that you can combination this, like probably not the greatest sentence I ever made, in many different ways. So you get to kind of decide like how many emails it's going to consist of, how many it's going to consist of, if you're going to have events, if you're going to do pop-bys, whatever those are, you get to kind of decide what the numbers that go with it. The one thing that I think really is like a non-negotiable is 4 phone calls. So calling everyone every quarter, Gary Keller says, is like the most important. Hold on. So 4 phone calls, being email, I think like 24 emails is kind of a sweet spot for emails. It's an email every other week. I really don't think that's like too much to where you need to worry about being annoying, but it's frequently enough. Sometimes people will do a monthly mailer. If you did 24 emails and 12 mailers, 4 phone calls, you're already at over 36, so like great, you're there. If you want to do less mailers, sometimes mailers can be a little bit more cost prohibitive, then you could do mix some pop buys in there, or events, happy hours, anything like that, face-to-face meetings. So 30 items value. Campaigns are meant to offer value to your contacts. What items do you think would be valuable to your contacts? You can jot some down there. And then question 2, how do you think these items of value would bring value and impact your contacts? Yeah, so some ideas would include like market statistics, business journal articles, local points of interest, Chamber of Commerce information, preferred vendor lists, homestead exemption forms in January. I think like an example of that too would be once you have clients that you've closed, sending them their like closing statement from the previous year. If they bought or sold, they can use that for taxes, which is great. Interesting articles, local calendar of events, local title. Whoa, losing a baby. Local title companies can be great resources of information for some of that as well. So those are just an example. You put those type of things in emails, or mailers, or even social media postings. Did anyone else come up with any other great items of value examples? Perfect. All right. So the easiest way to kind of start this okay, don't go too off topic and miss anything. Okay, so the easiest way to kind of start this is to decide what you want to do, and then get your calendar out. You can either do a paper calendar or one on your computer, however you want to do it. And 36 touches is about a touch every 11 days. So where I like to start, I like to kind of do this as a set it and forget it type system, where, or at least set it system, so that I don't forget it. Depending on which database you use, it's going to be a little bit different for you. Commands like works differently, obviously, than eEdge, and I think we'll continue to see that change over time as they continue to get feedback and continue to develop their systems. Nope. Danny, put this somewhere where he can't reach it, like the top of the refrigerator or something. You can have the iPad, Bubba. So I like to go out for the whole year of approximately every 11 days and decide when my touches are going to be. The reason is it then allows me to see what holidays are when, and if I want to like adjust by a day or two to send an email out on a specific holiday, or hey, that would be an easy mailer to do a holiday for, or that's when I'm going to do my client event, or that's when I do my Christmas cards, or whatever the case may be. You can kind of then decide what those mailers are going to be based off of when. That was bad. You were so bad. Can you not? Guys, I'm gonna auction off a 2-year-old here soon. Yeah. He's making it rain soda on himself.
Yeah, your
Got
attention,
wet.
your attention isn't exactly on him. How dare you?
Right? Right? He goes, oh, I got wet. Yeah. Sitting there going like, this was soda. So it's great.
That's how that works. Yeah.
At least it's clear. Hey, stop. Okay. Train of thought. So then once you know what days they are or where they are, it kind of help you decide which ones are going to be mailers, which ones are going to be emails. When do you want to do your phone calls? Those might kind of help you. I like to so I call myself a cheater, but it's not really cheating. I learned it from Family Reunion, which was, one of Keller Williams' biggest events of the year, just like Mega Camp. Some of you attended Mega Camp. I don't like calling people that I know. I don't know why, but that's mental blocks I struggle with in business. And so I truly feel like I have to have this really golden reason to call people I know. So I started doing events, because if you did 2 events a year, you can create a lot of or even 1 event a year, but you can use it for a lot of your touches. And so in an event, you're typically going to have, you're going to call and invite everyone. You're going to email and invite everyone. You're probably going to create a Facebook event to invite everyone that you're then going to post on. That's going to remind people. And you'll probably do more than 1 email to invite everyone, to remind them coming closer. So say you do 2 emails before, at least 1 phone call. You then follow up with a text reminder as well, or if they didn't answer your phone call, you're texting them to let them know why you were calling. And a Facebook event. So that's 5 touches prior to the event. Then you have the event itself, and then you have your thank you, or I missed you call and email after the event. So you can wrap up a bunch of your touches right there. I started small, right? I did 1 event a year in the first year, and then 2 the second year, and 3 the third year, because you want it to not be too cost prohibitive. But it's really easy to find sponsors for your events. You get a lender sponsor part of it. You can get insurance people. You can get contractors. You can get any of those allied resources to really step up and sponsor or offer raffle baskets or anything like that to help reduce some of that cost on you. So that's a really great one option you can do.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
What type of event did you host? What was the theme or?
Yeah, so my first one I ever did, I rented out the skating rink, which now no longer is there. I like doing them family friendly if possible, because a lot of people have kids and I don't want that to be a reason not to come. But you can mix it up too, because a lot of people don't like kids too. And that the second year I did a barbecue one, where I rented out some space and did, had a barbecue and had some like yard games, and drawings. And then I also did mommies and mimosas at the winery. So I had some snacks and mimosas for the moms, and like boys could come. It didn't have to be girls only. And then I had art projects for the kids to make for their mom. I did a couple weeks before Mother's Day. And then I've done pumpkin carving one that wasn't great. And then I typically do the pies around Thanksgiving where people can come and get a pie.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be about real estate, but it's a way to connect with people to build that database and
Yep. It's all about staying top of mind. They all know it's a business event. So it's like I call it a client appreciation event. And sometimes people will be like, well, I'm not your client. And I go, not yet, but someday you will be, or you'll know someone that will need me. Right. So you invite everyone, but call it a client appreciation event. It's all branded, our Gregory team, KW. And then I usually will ask for referrals as part of the invites in some sort of fun manner. So like the Mommies and Mimosas event, I said, if you give a referral between now and the event, you'll be entered to win a drawing for a date night or a movie night, or like that one. I think I did like $100 gift card to Marche, which is one of the nicer restaurants in town. In the barbecue one, I said, if you flip us a referral, you'll get this barbecue set. And it there was like $10, $15 barbecue sets you could buy if they gave us a referral. But I made it punny. The Thanksgiving one with the pies, if you whip us up a can of whipped cream with your pie. So I'm asking for referrals, but in a very fun or punny, soft way, which is kind of more my style. So I like that. Not for everyone, but I think it's a fun thing to consider. Sometimes people do way more frequent smaller ones, like happy hour ones, and they'll invite like groups of people, or everyone, and do it monthly happy hour instead of. Alicia, I don't see you. Pending. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Still learning with this. Admit one person in at a time.
Thank you.
Hey, Danny, stop running, please. Okay. Yep. So that is good. Events are just one thing. Pop buys are another thing. You can do around 4th of July. You could pop by with sparklers. For Halloween, sometimes people will call it reverse trick-or-treating, and they'll door knock and give little bags of candy or goodies out. I've seen people take little popcorn, popping bags of popcorn and put a cute little note on there, and say, I'm just popping by, and drop it by. If you're someone who's doing a lot of things with other businesses, you could bring, a box of donuts or a thing of cookies by and use that as a pop by in a larger way, and make sure you have your marketing material on there, your business cards with it, to that company. So that is one way. So really just depends on what you want to focus on. I'd make a plan for it. The reason I hone in on that so much is it's so easy once the year gets started and you get busy to, if you don't have these things already set in your calendar as reminders or set to go out automatically or happen automatically, it's easy to just keep putting it off, and then it doesn't happen. And then we don't get that 12-to-2 ratio we're looking for. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to play around in Command a little bit, and then we'll play around in eEdge a little bit to show you how to get these set up. So Command calls them smart plans. So once you add your contacts, can you guys see my screen? Okay. On the left-hand side, there's a smart plan button. So you'll click there. And then if you don't have any added already, you can go to your library and they've got some smart plans pre-created. You can use theirs or you can make your own. You get to kind of decide. So for instance, they have an 8x8 new contact engagement. If you want to see what the steps are in them, you can hit view steps and it'll tell you what it does. So every day, so you'd mess this kind of for you automatically if you have their phone number in there. Touch task, so that would be like a hey, let's go grab coffee, or you can do an email, phone call, send text message, add to smart plan, so that'd be like adding to your 36 touch, phone call, send a text message, touch task, so that'd be like either email or adding on Facebook, whatever you decide. So you're gonna have to like, it's gonna put reminders in there for you. But the difference with these smart plans in Command is that like the emails aren't already made necessarily. So you're gonna need to go into like your designs and create some of these emails for you. But say, let's see. Where's the other? Oh, I think because it's in my smart plans. So like this was another one, my monthly neighborhood nurture. It's going to send an email every 30 days and it's going to repeat unlimited times. And if you want to see an example of what this did, you could add yourself to it and do that all. But once you've selected a smart plan, then you can add contacts to it and you can search your contacts by tag. So if you had entered like sphere of influence or allied resources, and you want them on this contact, on this monthly email smart plan, then you're gonna select those tags and then it'll let you select the people you want and then you'll add the smart plans and it'll add that to them. You can also kind of, if you're like custom doing it, then make sure we're not missing anything. FSBO Met Smart Plan. So they've got some other ones in there too that people bi-weekly neighborhood nurture, missing an email smart plan. What else is in there? Open house follow-up. So they have a smart plan for that in here. Someone's birthday. Okay, so then if you weren't going to select some of these, then great question, Rob, for consumables. Sorry, I didn't see that till now. Probably with COVID, I would say, unless it's someone that like knows you on a really personal level and you think they'll be comfortable with it, I would make sure everything was like pre-packaged or pre-sealed, so people are a little bit less nervous. Okay, so you can also, we're gonna play around in a couple of different, I'll show you designs first, because designs is where you'll go to create a lot of your stuff. So in designs, you can create emails. And then if you do, this is gonna have like a email template in here, but you're going to edit a lot of this out. So you can like change what your headline is. You can change what you want it to say. And then you'll be able to see how it looks on a computer versus a tablet versus a phone. And you can add like images for your content and all of that. So you come in here and edit all this. Hit edit, agent, legal name, guessing what that, agent first name. So you'll play around in here, find what you like, and then, oops, options. You can send a test email, you can download your template, you can preview it. So like if we previewed just how this would look, it would look like this. So it has your image on there. You can download your apps, got your license number, your phone number, your website, your name, the logo, and then you would just change what the body was of it. Oops. You're okay, dude. You're okay, dude. Okay, so then we're exit preview mode somehow. Oh, here we go. There's a little, you guys are covering it up. I'm gonna discard my changes because I didn't really do anything. All right, so you can create your emails. And then the other thing that you can do, so on campaigns, leave. Hey, dude. All right. Come here. You can create a new campaign. They are all like approved, ready to go. So anything that's in like, and this is a great question because I get this a lot. Anything that's in our KW systems, like command, RMLS that sends, RMLS isn't a KW system, but like your MLS systems are approved. eEdge, anything that's like in there as marketing material, you don't necessarily need to get approved unless you've like removed the KW logo from it or removed the fact that it says KW, that sort of stuff. No. Do not throw things. Sorry, guys. Then you would need to get like it approved. But other than that, like emails, you're good to go. If they're already pre-built in our system and you're creating them, you don't need to get every little thing like that approved. You're good to go. Okay. Any other questions so far? Where'd my command go? All right. If you go to campaigns, there is, I gotta make you guys small, you're blocking me again. Okay, on the top right, there's a create a new campaign. Then you're gonna create an email campaign. So this could be like how you set up your emails. And you could do one at a time, or you could set them all up and get them all to go. It's gonna ask you what your goal of the email is, whether you're trying to attract listings, brand awareness, attract buyers. I'm gonna say I just want brand awareness. It says, where will your campaign run? It's gonna be command email. So I'm gonna set up a campaign. Oops, I call it test because now it's going to ask what account, or like, so the account that it's showing, this is my regular business email, so that's good. I want to show it's from there. It'll have you edit your recipient list, which you can then add, create a list or add tags. So you could do your whole, sphere of influence in here. It's going to show that it's from me and my email, which is great. And then subject, so I can write what my subject is for my email. and then select design content for your email. So here, if you went into designs and created something, then that's going to show here in your design templates, and you'd be able to just select that. So say you wanted to send something out for Halloween, you could go into designs, create a nice little email for Halloween, and then save it, and then that would create it here. There's also a bunch of KWRI templates. So these are the templates they made for you, and they're gonna, so there's an open house one, just listed. There's a couple different just listed ones. You can have a featured home, a home for sale. So these are just some of their generic ones. So say you were doing an open house and you wanted that to be one of your touches to your database, you could use this open house one, and then you're going to fill in with your own images, the time and date. You can go in and edit all of this, address, information about the home, and then it's going to save it. So you'd hit save and exit, and then you can schedule it to go out. Now, when you are creating your smart plans, oops, I'm going to go somewhere. Oh, yep, smart plan. I'm going to leave this. My smart plans, oh, that's my tasks. So see, I would have to do tasks on here if I had a bunch of smart plans running. So on your smart plans, once selected the ones that you want to use, on these little dots on the far right, oops. No, maybe I'm doing this wrong. Add contacts. Okay, so you're gonna add your contacts there. How did I get to this before? Let's go to a contact. Okay, so if you go to all your contacts, since you have them all on here, say you've entered a bunch and now you need to add them to your smart plans. You can do filters. And so filter, you could search by tag. So say I wanted to just add, Annie, can you get a paper towel, please, and clean that up? Past clients. I'm going to apply that. And then I want it to show me 50 at a time. I can select them all. And then oh, here, bulk actions. We're going to add to Danny now, please. Add to smart plans. And say I want to select this one. It's going to give us some options. It can, you can, oops, where'd it go? Select. You can do start now. Or you can start on a specific date. So if you wanted to get these in and pre-schedule them, then you can do that, right? So you could set it out to go out later. Or if you had an open house on Sunday and you knew you were going to want the follow-up email to go out after that on Sunday or on Monday, then you could time. Or you can stagger start over the next few days. Good example of when that might be nice is if one of your touches is text messages. You might not want 150, 200 text messages to go out all at once, because then as they come back in or get responded to, that's gonna be super overwhelming, not setting you up best for success. So you might want the maximum contacts per day to be 20 or 50 or 10. You get to kind of decide what that is. Does that make sense? Is that helpful for going in there and getting that set up? Okay. So we're going to switch over to eEdge because I'm just going to show you how that one varies a little bit and could be another option to use. Here we go, market leader. Okay. All right. So you can log into your mykw.kw.com. And then in the center on the top here, you're going to do My Marketing. And then on the second one, you'll see a Manage and Create Campaigns. You guys all there? Now, on the top right, you're going to say Add New Campaign. You want these?
Yeah.
Now, they also have custom or pre-created templates in here that you can just select. And whoa, where are you guys going? Running away from me. If you wanted to see, like, wondering what's possible, what those touches are, it'll tell you the different, show you the different emails that it has set up, and then that you have a task, which ones are emails, which ones are tasks. And those are all like preset and selected for you. So your task would give you reminders when it's time to do that. And then your emails would just automatically go out. It's got a bunch of different ones in here. 8x8 every step of the sale. $1 million buyer lead conversion. 12 direct to happy, healthy home. So 12 direct means it's like one every month instead of the 30. You could select those as well. Now, if you are someone like me who might be a little bit of a control freak and you want to kind of have full control over what goes out to your sphere and when, and select those, then that is an option in this as well. And how you do that is you go to the bottom left where it says create custom campaign. Now an 8x8 campaign, so like what you first put people on after an open house, that sort of thing, like we talked about, the 8 contacts over 8 weeks, that would be considered an interval campaign, because then no matter what, the pattern's going to be the same no matter when you add them, right? It's not seasonal per se. So no matter what, every open house contact could, for instance, could have the same 8 contacts over 8 weeks. So it's going to be pretty unique to open houses. For your 36 touch, you want it to be a date campaign, because then it might have some holidays in there or have some seasonality in there. Now you can still, the great thing about that too, if it's a date campaign, you can add people to it any time of the year, because every year you're gonna have 36 touches, so it's gonna be constantly on repeat. So every time you add a new contact to your desk, hey, stop it. Every time you add a new contact to your database, you can automatically add them to your 36 touch. Make sure everyone's getting that in your database. Stop it. That was not nice. Don't throw things at your brother. He's sleeping. All right. Raining snacks at our house. It's loading. Oh, good. I love unstable internet connections. Try again. Okay, so it's gonna make you name it. On the first step, so this, could be 36 touch 2021. Okay, review and configure steps. Austin, please stop. You're being so loud. People can't hear. You don't care. Sorry, guys. All right, so on the top right, we're going to add a step, and it's going to ask you what type of step you want to add. I like to kind of go through and just add the emails that I'm going to send. So if you had decided in your calendar and in your 36 touch that you were going to add 24 emails, you could do this all in one sitting. So you're going to add a step. Awesome. Stop it. You want time out? Hey, you want time out? Please stop. It is going to show you 1,241 different options for emails. So you get to decide what you like, what you want to add. It does have differences on here for like if you're a team or if you're an independent agent, so you can watch for that too. Like some of these will say, you'll like see them on there twice, and one will say team, and then one will, if you're on a team, it's just worded a little bit differently for you being on a team. Once you see one that you like, so you click on it, best bet home improvements. Entry door replacement, room conversions. It's going to give some tips here. If you wanted to say like, oh yeah, I like this, I want to add this, you're going to hit personalize. Hold on, guys. No, you're not listening. It's being too loud. Go play with something else. Yeah. You gonna come sit by mommy?
No, the baby.
No, don't sit by the baby. Baby's sleeping. We like it that way. Okay. Then it's going to personalize it to you. So it's going to add all of your information that you have in your KW account. Then you're going to hit save. You're going to save it as whatever the name is of it. You're going to hit exit. And then you're going to add to campaign. Now, when you add it to your campaign, you're going to need to schedule it. So that's when you would select like, okay, I think this one's going to be here. No, I'm not opening up anything for you. You're just throwing them everywhere. Then you're going to create an email subject. Stop it. So your email subject can just be the name of whatever that email is. So, are you having fun yet? So entry, door versus room conversion. Now, you would go back in and you'd add your next one. So I want to add another email. So you say, okay, I like this for a new home. Super cute. Same thing. You're gonna personalize, and then you're gonna add it to your campaign. And you're gonna go through and do that for as many of these as you like, or 24. And that's where, I don't care. The holidays might be kind of nice, so that has some holiday ones in here. Spread your wings. And this kind of allows you to see what type of options here. There's ones about great home buying tips. So you could do ones primarily focused on buying or selling or a mixture of both, completely up to you. Happy Halloween ones, getting a little crowded. There's a bunch of home improvement type options, wood deck versus have a swimming pool, finding your dream home. I get to personalize it to what you want it to look like. And then, so say we want to go back here. Here, I'll add a new one. Personalize. So personalize. Save. So that's cost of selling your home. And then exit. Add to campaign. You're going to select another date. So the date for this one might be 11 days after that, or 2 weeks after that. You get to, this is where if you've pre-selected your dates, you get to kind of decide. And then you can say costs of selling your home. And you go on and go through here until you have as many as you want. No right or wrong, at least 36 touches total. When you want to add a different type of step, you just do an activity. Only select direct mail if you want the eEdge system to do the direct mailing for you. If you were going to do like Christmas cards or your handwritten cards, you would still just select an activity instead of direct mail, because direct mail, it's going to want to send it for you. So you'd select activity, and then I just make sure you have your date for that. So you'd select what date you want to do your activity, and then put what that activity is in your notes. So you can say mail Christmas cards, or do pop buys, or call your database, whatever you want it to do. You will then go through here all the way until you've added your 36 touches and all your dates. And then you can add or remove contacts. So your contacts would show up here. You'll be able to add them, or you can do it by groups. So unfortunately, Command doesn't have like all of these pre-made templates, at least not yet, which is why I'm showing you both. So in Command, you can use the design feature and create just about anything you want, or you can link it to something like MailChimp that also has pre-designed templates. I have used eEdge every year that I've been in the business, so 7 years now for mine, and they have enough templates that I feel comfortable enough going in and selecting the ones I want here and setting it all up. I also know that I kind of do best with a set it and forget it system, because it's too easy for me if I didn't have it all pre-done to not do it and get it pushed off. So I've kind of stuck with eEdge until Command gets there. They've definitely made vast improvements. Like we've got this year, we've added smart plans, we've gotten designs, we've gotten campaigns. So it does have that ability, but they're not pre-made, if that makes sense. So then you'd add everyone you want, save your changes, and then it'll have you review and activate it. So it won't start sending it out until you do review and activate it when you're all done. So if you have to go in here a couple different times, the only thing I'll warn you about is make sure you change your dates if you're creating it in here, because if you say you set it for 10/27, but you're not all done, you can't like push it out again once that date's gone by. So you'd have to just add another step to redo whatever that did. But yeah, you can add the whole 36 touch, save it in there. Then when your tasks came due, your emails will just automatically go out on the date selected. And then when your tasks come up, they will show in your reminders to do them. So you could also add them to your calendar, something like that, if you wanted to ahead of time. Completely up to you. Ultimately, like I said, doesn't matter how you do it, just do it somehow. Do something to make sure you're getting those 36 touches out there. Questions? What questions do you guys have?
Will you repeat again where you just where you started with that? I had to step away for a second and I just missed where you entered into the yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna share it because I'm sure you're not.
And I'm in Command.
In Command?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, hold on.
That's what, yeah, sorry. Is it under, do you start with designs? Is that the left? Is that the
smart plans?
Smart plans. Okay, got it. Thank you. Yep. Yeah. No, I followed after that, but I just missed the first enter. Yeah. Thank you.
Stop sharing.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
I don't know if you clarified or not, but from Command to Edge, we have to separately add our contacts into each of those in order to utilize both options.
Yep. So that's kind of like the double duty I'm currently doing, which is the not fun part, but I think it'll be worth it in the end, because you definitely want to be integrated in Command, and Command does do some great things that eEdge definitely doesn't do. But Command doesn't have that. So I've been doing both for the past couple of years. Now, if you load them all into one, like then you can export it and the other one, so you could focus just on one for now if you wanted, and then add them all into the other one later. And then honestly, if you're just doing like one contact here and there, it's not that much work to put them in both.
Got you. Okay.
But when you're doing the masses in the beginning, it can be a little bit extra.
Question for you. So eventually, are you going to have on the system what allows both the contact on both sides simultaneously, or not at all?
You can do both simultaneously now.
Okay.
Like adding them both. And I believe if you go into your settings in Command, let me see. Thought seems like at one. No, maybe not. There, I thought you were able to link them, but I don't see it now. Oh wait, here. Connect more apps. So in Command, your face in the top right, and go to settings, you can link things to it. So if you had MailChimp, for instance, you could link your MailChimp to it. And then like Nextdoor app is one of the things you can do. So I believe you can link your e-edge in here.
Mara, I do have a very basic questions. I wasn't too clear about. What is the major difference between being in a team or being in a solo? Because I wasn't fully informed or fully understood what is the major difference in between. What is the better way to do it? Or is it better to be a start a team first? And what is the pros and cons?
So there's no like right or way or better or not better, but some of the main is when you are an independent agent, you're building your own business. So you don't have another agent that is in charge of the business and then you're playing a part of that. So like usually on a team, you'd be a buyer's agent in the beginning. It's a very common position. Now, oftentimes people in the beginning would join teams when they were new because they wanted the coaching and training and guidance from that more experienced agent. And what we realized over time is that some agents are really, really good at running teams and providing that support and training, and not all are, because a lot of them are busy with real estate agents. And so then it left some people with not great success because they weren't getting the support they needed. So now that we have the productivity coaching program, a lot of people jump into joining that instead of a team because it gives training and support and accountability that you need as a new agent without fully joining someone else's team, unless you see that as like a long-term thing that you would like to do. Some people just really like being on teams, and it provides some additional outside support, like doing your paperwork and paying some of your expenses. And sometimes people just join teams so they really want to work with that person specifically from them because they have a personal connection with them. So that can be a really great option too. But those are some of the differences. And then there are commission differences. Like usually on a team, you're giving part of your commission to that team leader, and stuff like that. And they might have specific requirements of you, like specific times you need to show up or specific hours you need to spend in the office, that sort of stuff.
When you say productivity coach, are you referring to yourself, or do we need to like find someone like you or another experienced agent who's kind of willing to help hold our hand a little bit, maybe on like our first deal or things like that?
You all have one. So if you're in the productivity coaching program, so like I'm the lead one for all the market centers, but in Salem you have Shauna, and then or Capital City, and in Sunset Corridors of Portland you have Matt Spate is your direct productivity coaching program or productivity coach.
Okay, so since I'm in the Salem area, if I had a specific question about a client I was working with, and how to proceed, I would reach out to Shauna.
Yep. She's like your go-to all the time person. Now, of course, if you couldn't reach her or something, you can always call me, of course. But yeah, she would be your main PT coach.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
So is it the coach and the team leader, are they having the same role as far as the
No, they're different. So like your PC coach, you don't necessarily work for them. They're just helping you build your own business. And as you need and pointing you in the right direction. Whereas like if you had a team leader on a team, you actually work for them in a lot of ways. So for instance, like if I had a buyer's agent on my team, they would be a buyer's agent for Mara Gregory team. And we would be running our businesses with a shared vision as a team. And I would have certain requirements as them. Whereas if you're in my coaching program, I'm just helping you build your own business and your own name up for whatever real estate team you want to have in the future.
So like me, I am the just barely like zero. I have zero information, not
Yep.
whatsoever. So is it better, for your opinion, is it more helpful to start from the team and then eventually be by yourself, or is it not necessarily an option?
It's an option, but it's not necessarily, I wouldn't say, the best for everyone. So almost everyone on this call is a newer agent that has started as an independent agent. Some of the people on here are on teams, and that can be a great option too. I don't think there's a right or wrong. It just depends on what you're looking for. So I would definitely connect with Matt and see what's going to be the best fit for you.
Because Matt told me you just will start from your own. I'm like, okay, but I have no other information. So what am I gonna do? What am I supposed to do? I have no other information yet. I'm still finishing up the contract to Matt, so I can give it to Matt, so that Latasha, if I'm finishing up my paperwork, since I just got my license, because all the background was checked, cleared, everything was done. I'm just waiting. I'm just finishing up this so that I can give it to Latasha so that she can adding my name on that.
Yes. Yeah. So all of these classes that you've been attending is what you should be doing. Once you get all your license set all up, I mean, those are going to be the same sort of things a team would want you to do versus being independent as well. So we're, giving you all the information you need to build a good, solid foundation for your business. So making the contacts, your campaigns, adding people to your database, those are all the right activities to be doing for everyone.
Okay, slowly understanding it. Thank you so much, Mara. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Anyone else have any questions regarding campaigns or what you should be sending out or different options for campaigns, anything like that?
Do you know of a contact list, like a distribution list, where we could retrieve a list? I said list like 3 times.
That's okay. For anything specific, like just neighborhoods or
like a business, I don't want to have to pay for a subscription, but like maybe a title company, specifically businesses, maybe. Really?
Yeah. Businesses would be hard. I would I know it sounds silly, but almost like your what we used to use, phone book is like literally one of the things they have you do in bold is start with the A's, look for your accountants, look for your arborists, that sort of thing. If you're trying to create a list for businesses to reach out to and connect with and be vendors with. You could ask a title company though, how much like business access they have. I know for title companies, they definitely can pull you free lists for any neighborhood, or if you wanted list of homes, like, hey, can you give me a list of people that have lived in their home for more than 7 years that make over X amount, that even have like certain subscriptions to magazines, like that sort of thing they can pull lists for. Or like people that own more than one home, title company can pull you a list of that, given a certain radius or neighborhood or anything like that, depending on what you're wanting to look at. If you're wanting like circle prospecting or calling around open houses, calling specific neighborhoods, I like using a system called Mojo. It's MOJO. And that's an online system you can purchase. You pay like $10 a month to have Mojo, and then like $25 a month to get the neighborhood searches, and you can pull as many as you want out of there. So that's kind of like when like I don't know who to call, or I'm running out of numbers, or I want to call around an open house. Mojo is typically a really good go-to for that, and it scrubs it against the do not call list for you, so you don't have to worry about that either.
And does it have just phone numbers or emails as well?
Just phone numbers.
Okay.
Same with title companies, they're just going to get you phone numbers too.
Okay, so an email list you would probably have to purchase.
Unfortunately.
Can I ask one other question, Mara? And I'm sorry if you reviewed this already, but in the command setup with the smart plans, it tells me that I need to set up a Twilio. Is that how I say it? Twilio.
Yeah.
And I couldn't remember, was that one of the things you said that we already have included, or that's not, we have to, okay, just checking. Because I know there's
it's not
things that it'll advertise for us, but it is included. And I just want to make sure it wasn't double paying. So.
Yeah, those are like the text messages.
Okay.
And you could ask Morgan, just make sure I'm not crazy. But that's how it sends out those mass text messages for you.
Got it. And then if we do a smart plan, we can do smart plan with email only. So
yeah, so you get to kind of decide, because it's going to tell you like a task to remind you. So you can create your custom one, for instance, and just kind of decide what you want to do when.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Danny, stop making him scream, please. Anything else? All right. Well, thank you for holding tight on with me today while I had massive craziness with the children. I was not anticipating having to teach today, but I definitely wanted you guys to get this material. I think it's really important and definitely a good foundation piece. Like if you do nothing else, grow your database and set them up on campaigns, and continue to nurture that. I think that alone will kind of, I mean, I would hate to use the word guarantee, but that alone guarantees that you're going to get business just because you're staying top of mind with the people that you know. So definitely a good starting point for your business, and then grow it, enhance it, and don't worry so much. I know so many of you are perfectionists. Do not worry about making it perfect before you do anything. Sending something out there is going to be better than doing nothing. All right, guys, I'll let you out of here a little early. Go make your contacts, and let me know if you need anything, as always.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barb.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mara.
Good. Who said they needed with templates? Sorry. Eileen, you can do designs to make your templates and stuff like that in Command.
Yeah, I know that. I just, I've got everything in Command now, and then the ready-made templates are in eEdge. So, you know,
yes.
I don't have my stuff in eEdge at all. So
yeah,
that's kind of annoying because I've done all this work to put it over into Command, and started using it, started setting up like tasks and stuff. But I definitely, you know, I'm artistic, but I don't know how to do graphic design online. So
yeah, so the designs tab has like a bunch of saved graphics and stuff like that. But yeah, that's unfortunately one of the things why I'm using both still, is because I'm not Paris. I mean, I could have Paris do it for me, but then she'd be asking me what I wanted every 11 days, and I'd probably kill her. So
so maybe I can just borrow content from there and then create the templates in Command. So I'll mess with it.
Probably.
I'll mess with it some more. Thank you very much. That was really helpful. And sorry about the car, but
that's okay.
The first delivery to London was like way the hell out there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. But I mean, you know, eventually I lost reception. I'm like, thank God I have the address, because I was like, I'm going to get lost.
Yeah.
And then in Cottage Grove, the second one was right just out of town. So yeah, but I could hear most of the time, except for when I lost it when I went out to London. So, but I've kind of done contacts already, so I got most of that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's why I usually don't teach this one, is because I feel like I've said a lot of this information, so I like you hearing it from someone else, but it's still the same information.
I think people still need to hear things over and over again, you know?
Yeah, especially in the beginning, everything's so overwhelming that it's good to
for sure
tie in the important parts.
Well, thanks. Have a good evening.
You're welcome. You too. Bye.
Bye.